I don't think I checked sound again, guys. Hang on a second here. We'll stop share for a sec. Let's go back in again. Do. Hang on. We got to get our opening in properly. Let's go this way, and maybe we'll try here. And we will check this one, and we will say share sound. Let's try again. Over here.
We're back.
Howdy.
I had to pause, put the sound on there. I mean, we had not. We had to make sure we do that. All right.
What?
Huh? Yeah.
Who? What? Who? Yeah.
Okay.
I had one of those when the wheel fell off.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our Sunday night offering of Astronomy Outreach, the Sunday Night Astronomy Show.
Hey.
My name is Chris Kerwin. I'm the creator of the social media channels known as Astronomy by the Bay. I'm also an amateur astronomer and a member of RASC New Brunswick. Hey! I'm introducing my two co-hosts for this evening.
You guys want to?
Yeah. So, Mr. Mike Collins, the beautiful observatory in beautiful St. John. Mike, beautiful cloud at the moment. Hey.
Hoping for Aurora.
Yeah. And Mr. Paul Owen from the Moon Shadow Observatory in Hampton. Hey, Paul.
Hello.
All right. We'd like to welcome to all of you tonight from YouTube and Facebook land. Thank you so much for your support. Both of you.
Yeah.
Hey, James. Evening, fellas. Hey, Brad. Now, on tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Astronomy Show, a thin crescent moon in our evening sky not only provides a beautiful view, but it also signals the fact that dark skies are on the agenda for the evening show. Now, we're at the point in the lunar cycle when our moon does not interfere with the view of the night sky. Well, not very much anyway. And with the summer Milky Way about to make its appearance, the times for being comfortable under a night sky are just around the corner. But what do we need to prepare for night under the stars? Do we need special equipment? What can we enjoy with just our eyes? Tonight we'll talk some summer stargazing tips to help you enjoy your evening. Sputtering a little bit because I've been watching what's going on with the aurora here. We'll also have another informative Rosanna's Fun Facts to share this evening. Mike will bring back another Vinyl Bud with another great binocular target, and I'll have a display of your photo submissions tonight as well. And we're going to have a little bit of an update on the possibility of viewing some aurora later tonight. I do have the NOAA space weather page open. Mike has it open as well, I guess. We're going to talk a little bit about aurora. Maybe we'll have an opportunity later tonight, or maybe even tomorrow night. Okay, so let's get started then with tonight's program and some tips on getting the most out of your summer night sky observing. That's going to be me, I guess.
Yeah.
Up to me. Hang on a second. I'll get this going. Well, how about we start from page number 1?
There we go.
Now, let me see if I can share my screen. All right, one guys.
Yes.
It's there.
All right. Okay. All right, some summer stargazing tips and just a few events that we have coming up too through the summer. So let's get started. Stargazing is very easy. Of course, you just have to look up, but getting started can be daunting for some. Now, there is a misconception that if you want to get into stargazing and see anything in the night sky, you really have to spend lots of money on high-tech equipment such as go-to telescopes and CCD cameras and all that kind of stuff. But if you just want to start with a very basic astronomy and you don't want to buy anything, well, what can you see just by stepping outside and looking up? Well, there are a number of steps that you can do. Go over a few of them here. Take a look at. First of all, we're going to take a look first of all at how do we get set up and what should we do to prepare. Probably the most important thing really is to choose your stargazing site. Now, one of the first things you want to do is pick out where you're going to be observing. Some are lucky enough to have observed right from their own backyard. But if you're surrounded by tall buildings or have to deal with a lot of light pollution, you may want to pick a different location. Now, Google Maps can be a great resource. From aerial views, you can choose a location that is dark yet safe and hopefully not too far from home. Another handy resource is a light pollution map, similar to the one provided on the website cleardarksky.com. So those are places you can go. Dressing for the occasion. When the sun goes down, it can get very chilly, no matter what time of year. And add to that the joy of mosquitoes, and your evening can become unpleasant pretty quickly. The general rule for stargazers is to bring along enough clothing to keep you warm if it was 10 degrees colder than it really is. When you're stargazing, you're usually spending long periods of time just standing still or sitting still. And since you're not moving around, you're not generating very much heat. So something else is to consider is warm footwear and waterproof, because if you're standing on grass or whatever, grass gets wet with the dew. And throw along some mosquito repellent for sure. Carry in your bag because you don't be spotting flies all the time or mosquitoes all the time, taking your attention away from why you're there in the first place. Let your eyes dark adapt. Once you arrive at your site, your eyes will need to dark adapt. Now, this process can take at least a half hour and involve your pupils dilating, getting larger to allow for reduced light levels. Now, once they do, you won't believe how much more stars are visible. Now, do avoid looking at your phone because every time you look at your phone, your pupils are going to shrink again and it'll take another 20 minutes or so at least to dilate back up again. And don't stare in the direction of any bright lights. Instead of using a phone app to find your way around, look for free printable star charts online and bring along a red flashlight for viewing them. This will help with your dark adaptation. Red flashlights are best suited for us for astronomy. If you don't have a red flashlight, you can take a piece of red cellophane and put it over top of a regular flashlight, of course, too. Now, comfort is key. There are more ways to be sure you're focused on the night sky and not in your own discomfort. Warm clothes are essential, including socks and footwear that keep your feet dry. You could be standing on grass for quite a while. You should also consider bringing along a comfortable chair. Stargazing can be tough on the neck. A warm thermos of your favorite beverage helps take away the chill as well. And if you have an extra one, bring along a blanket. Blankets, I mean, these things throw in the back of your car, have them there, all the time. A chair makes it so much easier, especially if you're observing through a telescope. Looking through one eye and bent over, looking through a telescope, getting comfortable is the main thing. Take your concentration off of your sore back or your cold feet or your cold hands and focus on why you were there. Grab a photo for a memory. Now, most of us carry a pretty decent camera with us on our phone, and many use a DSLR setup. Now, experiment with your phone's camera or DSLR settings through the daytime hours. Learn its settings. There's lots of online help, and use a tripod whenever possible to keep away from the shakes. Do you need a telescope? Well, no, you don't need a telescope to enjoy the wonders of the night sky. Binoculars work just great for beginners and advanced astronomers. Now, they give you the correct view, first of all. They are very portable, and they're also very lightweight. and they are reasonably inexpensive. You can also use them through the daytime, and you get to use 2 eyeballs instead of 1. Enjoying binoculars before you ever invest in a telescope. I tell that to everybody. If you're considering a telescope down the road, then look up binoculars first. Again, they're cheap. They're easy. They're relatively cheap. They're portable, lightweight, and you can see a lot of really nice objects with just binoculars alone. Decide if you want to be underneath the night sky before you really invest in serious money into a telescope. What kind of things you can see? Well, double and multiple star systems. Some stars are not alone. In fact, about 5 to 10% of all the stars we see are actually double stars. Now, there are many more cases where we know the second star is there, but we just can't see it from Earth. Along with this, there are a large number of multiple star systems, like the one of the heads of Gemini, the twins. Castor is actually a sextuplet star system. There are a large number of striking double stars, such as Albireo and Omicron Cygni and Cygnus. And there are also clusters of stars that are not as tightly bound together by gravity. We call them open clusters. Now, here are 2 that you can see with naked eye tonight, the double cluster. They lie at a distance of about 7,500 light years away in the Perseus arm of the Milky Way. The Pleiades cluster in Taurus, we see that rising. A lot of people think it's the Little Dipper or the Mini Dipper. It's also another beautiful binocular target. In fact, both of these clusters are best viewed through binoculars, not through a telescope. And there's where you would find the double cluster if you wanted looked out this evening about in the northeast part of the sky. You would find this big W shape up in the sky, and look below the W. I usually make a triangular shape from one corner to the other, and then straight down about the same distance, and you'll come into this double cluster. Here's what it looks like. And that's a great binocular target. Milky Way. Glancing back at our place in the Milky Way can be a very enjoyable experience. Just a simple view with binoculars can reveal so much. Thousands of stars of many different colors and brightnesses, and wonderful star clusters like the large and small Sagittarius star clouds. And where would they be? Well, they're right up in this area. Here's our Milky Way view in the summertime. Here's our constellation of Sagittarius here, the teapot. And you can see here's the shape of the teapot. There's the lid, there's the handle, there's the pot itself, and here's the nozzle where steam would come out. So that here's where the Sagittarius small and large clouds sit right in this area. When we're looking in this direction of the Milky Way in the summertime in the south, we're looking towards the center of the Milky Way galaxy, right in this area here. So there's lots and lots of objects all the way up through this pattern Milky Way, this part of the Milky Way, to enjoy with just binoculars alone. This is the Sagittarius star cloud. Here's an example. You're not going to get quite this view through binos, but it is going to be an overwhelming field of stars for sure. As always, Mike has a binocular target of the week. Looking for interesting binocular targets, remember you can always review Mike's top binocular treasures on any previous episode of our SNAS program. All of our previous episodes are up on my YouTube channel. Now, don't look for them on Facebook, because Facebook is now deleting any live videos that are more than 1 month old. So I'm getting notices all the time from Facebook just telling me that such and such a video will be deleted if you don't download it quickly. So the best place to find all of our videos, all of our SNAS videos, are up on YouTube. And of course the ISS, the International Space Station, that orbits the Earth at 8 kilometers per second. About every 90 minutes, this big blob passes over parts of the planet. Where do you find information about that? We can go to a website called Heavens Above, and this website gives you lots of information, including comets, planet placements, the solar system chart, all that kind of stuff. But it also gives us a spot where we can find out whether the ISS is going to pass over our home over the next little while. So here's a search period, for instance, from May 18th to the 28th. And here are the dates that were included back then. You'll see the date, you'll see the brightness of the object at that time when it passes over you. So a lower number is always brighter. The start time, the highest point, when it reaches a high point, what time that will be, and the end time. And it'll tell you which direction it's coming from and where it's heading to. And if you click on any one of these, blue areas here, you'll come up with a map as well, kind of like this. So this will show you exactly where where to look for the ISS going across the sky. Here's northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. So you can just follow it directly right like this, and it's very accurate. That's one place to find it. Another spot to find when the ISS is passing over is go to this site, spot the station. Now there are apps as well for this idea. You can spot the station, go to this website, plug in your location, and it'll tell you when the space station is going to pass over your home. Great for the kids when you get the kids out camping or whatever. Show them that this object is passing over us at 8 kilometers per second. There's usually 8 to 10 astronauts aboard it. Many of us have seen this little display. Of course, you're going to see a whole lot more of these coming as more and more satellites are launched into space. But this is what we call a Starlink satellite train. A group of anywhere from, say, 30 to 60 satellites that are all lined up like that. They're all released basically at the same time. They have little ion drives on them that allow them to, they're autonomous, and they'll eventually seek their own location. But in the meantime, they'll come through the sky like this here, and sometimes they'll be a little distance apart because they're starting to separate. But these Starlink satellite trains are always kind of neat to watch for sure. How do you find out about those? Well, you can go to here. There's a website called Find Starlink, and you just select your location again and find your visible times. Click, and it'll tell you, look for bright passes if you can. The brighter the pass, the more you're going to get the chance to see. Meteor showers. Meteor showers are those special events that everyone can enjoy. We have several each year, and some with very favorable conditions this year. All you need is a comfortable spot to view and some patience. Now, they're always best to share with a family or friend member, even with each of you starting at a portion of the sky, then shouting when you see one. Shout meteor when you see one. One looking at one half of the sky, one looking at the other half. No experience or equipment necessary at all. And it's just a great time to get out and stargaze as well. In the meantime, grab your binoculars while you're waiting for them and take a look around. And of course, there's solar observing. Astronomy doesn't have to be just at nighttime. Our star always puts out a great show, as it is today, in these last couple of days, as long as you use properly filtered equipment. Now, our sun goes through an 11-year cycle. Right now, the sun is ramping up to solar. Actually, it is at solar maximum, which means more activity, more sunspots, more solar flares, and more chances for viewing the northern lights. We can view our sun through two types of filters, a white light filter, which helps us observe sunspots, this one here on the left-hand side, and an H-alpha filter, which helps us observe the sun's surface in large loops of plasma called prominences. Now, this is what can be revealed in our daytime setup. The image on the left is a white light, and the image on the right is an H-alpha. So that's one little piece of the visible of the spectrum of light. And of course, the aurora. All this leads to these dazzling auroras, our lady aurora. Auroras occur when charged particles, electrons and protons, collide with gases in our Earth's upper atmosphere, normally oxygen and nitrogen. These collisions produce tiny flashes that fill the sky with colorful light. Now, as billions of flashes occur in sequence, the auroras appear to move or dance across the sky. We'll have many more opportunities to enjoy this phenomenon in the months ahead, and that is true. Learning the constellations and asterisms. I mean, before you invest heavily into a telescope, I suggest that you get outside underneath the night sky and try to find out if that's what you enjoy, being outside for several hours at a time. Some people make that purchase of the big item and then find out down the road that it's not something for them. You can also learn the constellations and asterisms, because when you do get a telescope, you may decide to go with a manual telescope, something that isn't automated. And in that case, you're going to learn how to star hop, try to find objects in the sky. Well, it always helps when you can learn the constellations and asterisms. So constellations are really our road maps to the night sky. We break the sky up into pieces and look inside those pieces for the treasures. It may seem overwhelming, but by taking one small section at a time over many nights, you'll become comfortable on where to look and what you're looking at. Now, later, as you step up to optical equipment, the knowledge you pick up by getting familiar with the constellations will become invaluable and provide you with confidence when trying to find objects or sharing those views with others. Here's a sample. You can find this actually on the St. John Astronomy Club's website. So we could use constellations as signposts. Seen here, the constellation of Ursa Major, or the The Big Dipper, I guess some of us call it, makes an excellent signpost, mapping out the path to many other constellations. So let's take the handle of the Big Dipper, go down this way. We'll arc down to Arcturus, which is part of Bootes, and then we'll spike down to Spica in Virgo. Pass through the first two stars of the pot and go straight down to Regulus, which is the main star in the constellation of Leo. Go the opposite direction, you're going to hit Deneb, which is the bright star in the constellation of Cygnus, and so on. So you can use the Big Dipper as a guidepost to find your way around to other parts of the sky. We can also use Orion in the wintertime as the same idea. So here we found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 constellations right there. So nice and easy, and take that right outside with you, and you can find them easily. What else? Well, there are lots of free software and apps out there today to help you learn the night sky. One of the best and most powerful is this one, known as Stellarium. Now, it can provide you with views of the night sky from any place on Earth and on any day, giving you lots of chances to research what's up if you plan on going out observing. Usually every evening that I plan on going out observing, I always look at Stellarium first to see what's going to be available in my night sky. There are some excellent tutorials online as well to help you. Of course, YouTube is your friend when you want to learn anything new about astronomy. So some final thoughts. Stargazing can be a very rewarding and humbling experience. It is one of those hobbies that can be equally enjoyed alone or with a group. And it requires no experience at all or equipment to get started. As I showed here, some of the best things that we see require no equipment at all. Of the northern lights, meteor showers, comets, those type of things can all be enjoyed without any equipment at all. Learn the constellations and asterisms. Decide whether being outside at night for hours at a time is really for you before you invest in expensive equipment. Bring along accessories to keep you comfortable. Take a few photos for keepsakes. Share the night sky with your friends and family, and get them involved in stargazing nights as well. Learning together can make it much more enjoyable. Also, seek out a local astronomy club in your area. We have one here in St. John, a very active club. And there's also one in Fredericton, very active as well. Most clubs have regular outreach events, and most clubs offer telescopes to borrow free of charge, which we do for sure. It really can be a very satisfying hobby, and the treasures of the night sky are there every clear night waiting for you, all for free. Well, let's move on then from there to a few celestial and special outreach events that we can look forward to for the rest of the year here. First of all, we have 3 supermoons still coming in the year. Tuesday, October the 7th, Wednesday, November the 5th, and Thursday, December the 4th. Now, supermoon occurs when the moon's orbit is closest, or at its perigee to Earth. We call it a perigean moon as well, at approximately the same time that the moon is full. Supermoons are typically about 14% bigger and 30% brighter than a micromoon, which would be the smallest moon, or what Kurt might call a puny moon. Can I remember how bright the moon was last month compared to the month before? Probably not. How big it was either? No, I probably can't. But some people can, so I'll leave it at that. Supermoons is just a term that was coined about around 1980 or so. And it really doesn't mean much. You can see the difference of sizes here. But if it gets people to look up, I'm okay with it. August the 12th and 13th are the best dates for the Perseids. Now, the most reliable and probably enjoyable meteor shower, just because of the temperature wise, will be in August. Now, this year it peaks on Sunday, August the 12th, and on until morning. Here we go. On that night, the moon will be about 90% waning gibbous, rising around 9 p.m. So not particularly great for that night, but it's worth going out to take a look for sure. Remember that the radiant, or the place where most of the meteors seem to come from, is in the constellation of Perseus, which doesn't rise really till around midnight. Typical rates are between 75 to 100 meters per hour under dark skies. August the 12th, the conjunction of Jupiter and Venus. So another event happening right at the same time as the Perseids is this beautiful conjunction coming up. Conjunction of the 3rd and 4th brightest objects in the sky, Jupiter and Venus, will take place in the morning sky of August the 12th. Easily visible together in the field of view of binoculars, the two worlds will appear less than a half of a degree, or the width of the full moon, apart. So that's pretty close. And this is looking east-northeast at about 5 a.m. on August 12th. On the 20th, now Jupiter and Venus are joined by a very slim crescent moon to make this wonderful celestial triangle. And you may even spot little Mercury very close to the horizon as well. Now, September 21st, Saturn is at opposition. The ring beauty Saturn will appear nearly ringless this year. Actually, it says next year here, but it's this year. Saturn takes about 30 years to orbit the sun, and it has a tilt similar to Earth. So each year when we catch up to it, we see it from a different perspective because it's in a different location. Once every 15 years, the rings appear almost edge on. Now, this perspective does allow us to see the positions of its many moons that reside in the plane of the planet easier than any other time. The rings will return to full view again by 2027, so it doesn't last very long. Here's the view. So here we are, Saturn oppositions from 2001 to 2029. Here we are down here on 2025. You can see the rings have almost disappeared, but you can see they start to open up again next year. And then we're back to full view again by 2027. December 12th to 13th is Gemini meteor shower. Geminis are usually the strongest meteor shower of the year, and meteor enthusiasts are certain to circle December 13th to 14th on their calendars. This is one of the major showers that provides good activity prior to midnight, as the constellation of Gemini is well placed from 10 p.m. onward. Now, Geminis are often bright and intensely colored. In 2025, the moon will have a waning crescent phase on December 13th, 14th, which rises near 2 a.m. Observations prior to this, though, will be moon-free. Observations after moonrise can still be successful by facing westward with the rising moon at your back. So, a couple of nice meteor showers on their way. Now, I'm going to end up with finally with some RASC Star Party events. What is the Star Party event? Well, these are events where members of RASC NB throughout the province here, our members gather together in locations to set up our telescopes for the general public. And we gather together for weekend events, 4 weekends actually, throughout the year. The Kujabaquak Spring Starfest happened just last weekend, or this weekend, I guess happening this weekend. I don't know anybody hear back on the results for this, or Mike, Paul?
No, I haven't heard a thing. I think they got a little bit on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I think Saturday was a bit of a bust, but
You usually have one at least that's a bust. We are going to be at Mount Carlton on August the 1st and 2nd. And we picked dates that are usually right around a new moon, so that no moon is in the sky to interfere with our view, of course. So that's why Fundy Stargaze sometimes it's on Labor Day, but this year it's at August 22nd, 23rd, so that's right around the new moon part of the cycle. Then we're back again. This should be Fall Starfest on September 12th and 13th back at Kujaquak. Here's a picture of some of us that set up at some of these events. They're very relaxed. They're very comfortable, lots of fun. We get to meet a lot of people. We had over 1,000 people at Fundy National Park, or close to 1,000 people last year at Fundy. Here's a field similar to what we would set up in other locations. This is the one at Fundy. And some of the views that we might get in locations like that. So if you really want to get an appreciation for dark skies, and maybe you are considering purchasing a telescope and you want to see what you should be buying or what you should be interested in, then astronomers love talking about their equipment. So come visit us at one of these locations. Now, also, we usually do have 2 events at the Irving Nature Park here in St. John's. So the Irving Nature Park is, of course, the first urban star park in Canada. And we support their initiative for dark skies by setting up within their location a couple of times a year. So those dates have not been announced yet, but I will continue to post that information once it becomes available to me. You can also find a lot of information here on the St. John Astronomy Club website. You can find us at sjastronomy.ca if you're looking for any information about where we are going to be set up, that kind of thing. And RASC NB is your other source for lots of data about what's happening in New Brunswick with astronomy. Astronomy can be a truly humbling hobby. The vastness of space can easily be overwhelming. We play a very unique role in the unfolding of the story of the cosmos, though. But be that child again, the one that looked back at the universe and wonder, and try to enjoy your summer night skies.
if we had them.
If we have them.
We got a couple in there. Not many, but a couple.
Yeah. Brutal.
Brutal is right, and but that can't last forever. There is another talk we had done before, I guess, about Yeah, Brad says tip number one, bug spray.
Yeah.
That's a good tip, Brad. And there's this device here that we talked about before. I'm not necessarily going to sponsor. I'm not being sponsored by this product or nothing, but this is what we call a thermocell. There it is.
Put it right in front of you, Chris. There you go.
Okay, this is called a thermocell. Now this has a blue pad in the face of it there that actually gets heated up by a bottle, then a butane bottle on the bottom. And that butane bottle, you have a sparker inside. It turns on and it heats that pad, and that pad gives off the odor of chrysanthemum flowers. And bugs hate chrysanthemums, so that's how they work, and they work very well. I've seen it almost creates a shield right around you while you're doing your observing. And when you're doing observing, of course, you're standing still, so you're a great target for bugs. But if you're not into bug spray and you don't want to get into that type of chemical, this is another option for you. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about stargazing tips. Hopefully,
There
we
you
can use some of those this summer.
Pretty much covered the gambit.
The only other thing, now there are some tips for you viewing aurora. That's a little bit different. We do talk about making sure that you're finding a spot that's dark. You know, that is what we appreciate, of course, when we're looking at the sky at any time. We want it as dark a sky as possible. But with the aurora, because it's faint, it can be faint. We want it to be in the spot where the skies are darker. And when they are darker, our pupils dilate again and we get to see more. Of course, we want to be facing north. They're called the Northern Lights for a reason. But if you're not quite sure where to look, I mean, look for the Big Dipper. You're going to find the Big Dipper in that part of the sky, the northern part of the sky. So take a look for there. Also, camera settings are usually higher ISO and a longer exposure time because you'll always get to see more on your camera. Your camera will get to see more than your eyes will get to see, for sure, especially color. So that's another point to remember. Now, that's about all I'm going to say about that stuff. We can talk a little bit later, maybe after Paul's talk, about where we are right now with the more possibilities for tonight, I guess.
Who's talk?
Well, Mike's up first, I guess. But after your talk, we could talk about that. How's that?
Oh.
Before we end the show tonight. How's that?
Unless you want to go first.
I'm done. So it's up to you guys now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, okay. So you want to buy no bud?
Sure.
We want to find no bud.
Bino the bud. Okay, let's see if we can make them work here. Alrighty, binocular target of the week this week by Bino Bud is. Now this is a different one. I just came across it recently, and it's pretty cool. Called Sidor Ophiuchi, or the sweat of Ophiuchus, of all things. I suppose if you were holding a serpent like that, you'd have a little bit of sweat in your eye. Yeah. But continuing on. Astronomy author Tim Lorenzen calls this asterism Sidor Ophiuchi, or the sweat of Ophiuchus. One can see 8 stars in the shape of an integral sign, which I put in there, about 2.5 degrees long, and it has a box at one end, like a boxy extension at the top end. The translated phase, pothendinos or something like that, refers to a prominent grouping located 3 degrees west of Algetae or Alpha Hercules, resembling what they thought would be a dripping of sweat. I haven't seen the dripping of sweat, but this is what they call it. Anyway, how do I find it in the sky? And I'm hoping to photograph it tonight so the clouds are going to part and it's going to be a clear night when I go get to aurora. I'm going to spin around and look to the south around 11 o'clock. And I'm going to look up and see Ophiuchus, and I'm going to find my binocular target and photograph it. So if you look south at 2300, you see the top 2 stars on the right-hand side of Ophiuchus. It kind of makes an equilateral triangle with a bright star right in here, that Hercules star. Well, guess what? It's just off right here to the right, and you can even see it in here. So it's a big target, easy to spot. A little closer look. There's those 2 stars in Ophiuchus. There's that bright star that makes a triangle, and there's our sweat of Ophiuchus. So with a box on top. What does it look like? Well, just like you saw, you see the box over here and a line of stars coming all the way down. There's the box. There's a line of stars coming down, and right in here, second from the bottom, is a nice double star. So you get a double star in the same shot. 10 by 50 binoculars. Look at that. She's a big target. Bright stars, easy to see. They range between, I think it's 5 and 8 for magnitude. So they're fairly bright. You should be able to see it in a pair of binoculars relatively easy. And hopefully we'll catch it in a camera lens. Compared to the full moon, look at that. She got to be 5 full moons, give or take. So it's a big target. Should be easy enough to find. Like I said, you find that bright star out the top of Ophiuchus and look over a little bit to the right, you're going to see it. Should jump right out at you. And I don't think you guys are ready for this one, but here we go anyway. What do you get when you cross a kangaroo with an alien? A marsupial.
Oh, good God.
That's what my wife said. What's a marsupial? But anyway, that's binocular target of the week by Bino Bud. Marsupial.
Oh, looks like kangaroo's trying to catch it and put it in its pouch.
I think you put too much effort into those, Mike. Looking for those jokes, but anyway.
Oh, that's too funny.
I don't look for them; they just pop up in front of me.
Speaking about putting effort into things, I want to share a little something here. Mike, on a regular basis, if you're watching us on or tuning in on Facebook, before I put the program up, I usually share one of these cartoons, I'll call them, images of Mike's. Mike is the one who creates these for each program. Now, he kind of reminds me that he has special things added here. So he's got Paul on his phone, or no, what's he got?
Hairspray.
Bug
spray.
Bug spray.
Right. Yeah.
So Paul's got bug spray. I get a red flashlight hanging off my side here.
Yeah, you got binoculars on. Paul's got a camera hanging.
Yeah.
There's a propane heater. There's the bug repellent thing I was showing a few minutes ago.
Bag of gear.
Yeah, here's a few coffee cups over here waiting.
Oh, you got to have coffee when you go out.
Anyway, thanks, Mike, for having some humor to one of those two of these drawings this week for us.
Oh, they're great.
Oh, the kangaroo joke jumped right into Mike's lap.
There you go.
You're about as bad as Mike. Anyway, okay. Let's go ahead with a Rosanna's fun fact next, maybe. Paul?
All right. Let's see if we can get this correct this time. All right. So here is this week's
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
All right. Well, welcome back, Rosanna, for another great fun fact. So let's get right into it. So Rosanna writes, well, not the bottom of the page. Let's go to the top. There we go. So Rosanna writes, hi, Paul. Spring cleaning is almost done, and summer vacation time is on the horizon, literally and figuratively. Now, let me just get the photos up. There we go. So I'm doing some reorganizing. Are there any of your possessions that you want to keep? How many times have we heard that? Summer, of course, means relaxed book reading on a sunny deck or beach for many. I belong to 2 book clubs, and a new one is blipping on my radar. Mark your calendar for the Planetary Society's first live, in-person book club event. This usually all virtual book club is taking to the stage next month in Pasadena, California. If you happen to be in Pasadena, you can join them on June the 25th for a live discussion about the creation of Mars. Photographs are from NASA archives. Tickets are free. 3 of the book's authors, former NASA chief scientist Jim Green, JPL Emeritus Chief Engineer Rob Manning, and planetary scientist and author Emily Lakdawala will be hosting. For those who can't make it on the in-person event, probably all of us, you can join by Zoom. Pictured a sample page from the book of Mars Imaginary. The image credit is from Tashin America. And a little something for those music and astronomy fans. Strauss Blue Danube is heading into space this month to mark the 200th anniversary of Waltz King's birth. In case you are wondering just which famous Strauss composer this is referring to, it's Johann Strauss II. Now, this picture you're seeing is the European Space Agency's 35-meter diameter deep dish space antenna, the DSA-2, in Cerro, Spain. That's in Spain. The classical piece will be beamed into the cosmos as it's performed by the Vienna Symphony Orchestra. The celestial send-off is on May the 31st, which was yesterday. It will be live streamed with free public screenings in Vienna, Madrid, and New York. This will also celebrate the European Space Agency's founding 50 years ago. Now, although the music could be converted into radio signals in real time, according to officials, ESA will relay a pre-recorded version from the orchestra's rehearsal the day before to avoid any technical issues. The live performance will provide the accompaniment. Almost looks like a picture you would have, Mike. The radio signals will hurtle away at the speed of light, or a mind-blowing 670 million miles per hour, which is more than 1 billion kilometers per hour. That will put the music past the moon in 1.5 seconds, past Mars in 4.5 minutes, past Jupiter in 37 minutes, and past Neptune in 4 hours. Within 23 hours, the signals will be as far from the Earth as NASA's Voyager 1, the world's most distant spacecraft at more than 15 billion miles, or 24 billion kilometers, in interstellar space. Does anybody remember when NASA celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2008 by transmitting a song directly into space, the Beatles' Across the Universe? Last year, NASA beamed up Missy Elliott's The Rain, Super du Fly, toward Venus. Now, music, has even flowed from another planet to Earth, courtesy of NASA Mars rover. Flight controllers at California's Jet Propulsion Laboratory sent a recording of will.i.am's Reach for the Stars to Curiosity in 2012, and the rover relayed it back. And what you're looking at there is mission controllers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. Listen and clap along to will.i.am's new song that was beamed from Mars back to Earth on August the 28th, 2012. These are all deep space transmissions as opposed to the melodies streaming between NASA's mission control and orbiting crews since the mid-1960s. Now it's Strauss's turn. After getting passed over for the Voyager golden records nearly half a century ago. So now I need a new barbecue playlist for those friends and family get-togethers on the back decks of this summer. At the next solar system deck party, Pluto may actually be getting a new cousin to invite over. A small team led by Saiho Sheng, Martin A., and Helen Chujin, a member in the Institute for Advanced Studies School of Natural Sciences, has discovered an extraordinary trans-Neptunian object, or TNO, named 2017 OF 201 at the edge of our solar system. And there you see it right there. So the TNO is potentially large enough to qualify as a dwarf planet, the same category as the much more well-known Pluto. The new object is one of the most distant visible objects in our solar system, and significantly suggests that the empty section of space thought to exist beyond Neptune in the Kuiper Belt is not, in fact, empty at all. Trans-Neptunian objects are minor planets that orbit the Sun at a greater average distance than the orbit of Neptune. The new TNO, pardon me, is special for two reasons: its extreme orbit and its large size. I'm going to click there so you can see that better. The object's aphelion, the furthest point on the orbit from the Sun, is more than 1,600 times that of Earth's orbit, explains Chang. Meanwhile, its perihelion, the closest point of its orbit to the Sun, is 44.5 times that of Earth's orbit, similar to Pluto's orbit. This extreme orbit, which takes the object approximately 25,000 years to complete, suggests a complex history of gravitational interactions. After the barbecue and the night sky permits, hopefully, there will be time for some stargazing. While you're looking up and thinking about Pluto's possible cousin, there is also this amazing news to consider. Just when we thought Hubble was finally ready for space retirement, it drops the best quality galaxy shot we have seen in a very long time. Meet LIDA 42160, an unassuming name for what looks like a glowing ripple in the dark. Much like a cosmic bullseye, except instead of winning a teddy bear, you get a galaxy with 9 star-forming rings. The name LIDA 42160 sounds a bit like a printer model, not a galaxy. That's because it's a catalog name, a database number in the Lion Madoon extragalactic database. That's a pretty exciting name, not especially. But that's how science works. First the catalog number, then the nickname. And in this case, Bullseye Galaxy is what astronomers have started calling it, because apparently rippling space pancake of wonder didn't fit the academic vibe. This weird beauty sits about 500 million light years away in the constellation Canis Venatici, quietly being one of the strangest things we've seen in a long time. Unlike your typical spiral galaxy that swirls like a soft space server, LIDA 42160 looks like someone dropped a stone into the universe and took a picture of the splash. Scientists spotted it using Hubble Space Telescope and then brought it back up the Keck Observatory in Hawaii to confirm what they were seeing wasn't just an optical fluke. What makes this even more absurd, galaxies don't usually rock 9 rings. You're lucky to find 2. This galaxy is going to be the star of the party. May our summer night sky provide lots of chances for back deck star parties. And that is this week's
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
All right.
There you go.
Awesome. Yeah.
Emma had a question for you, Paul.
That is pretty cool.
Emma wants to know what the name of the book club was in Pasadena that she had there.
Oh, I just shut it all down. I'll have to bring it up again. You hang on, and I will get it for that person. One sec here.
For Emma.
For Emma? Yep. All right, one sec here. Where'd you go, Rosanna? Rosanna. Oh, where'd she go? Just bear with me. Oh, there it is. So the name of the book club, it's called the Planetary Societies. Planetary Society.
There you go. Planetary Society Book Club, Pennsylvania.
Hang on, I'm just going to read a little bit more just to make sure.
From Pasadena, California.
Pasadena, California. Yep. Yeah, it's called Mark Your Calendar for the Planetary Society's first live in-person book club event. So the Planetary Society.
Awesome.
Ta-da!
Thank you, Rosanna, for another great fun fact.
Absolutely.
Lots of little stuff in there, but yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just when you think Hubble's about to retire, boom, that's kind of nice. Maybe they won't retire it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another
It's neat how they show Hubble shot something and then they go back with another piece of equipment to verify it to say, yeah, this is something. It's not just a smudge out there on the on the mirror or whatever.
Yeah.
Good for Hubble.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to a few photos in for now, quickly. And
There's been weather for photos? Wow.
Okay. All right, we'll get started here with some photos for tonight. Share this one. Okay, we got, of course, we had a very slim crescent moon there this week. Mike and I were out to catch the 21-hour moon, 21 and a half hour, 22-hour moon, Mike.
Yeah.
Dave Anderson says, hi, Chris. I watched your live viewing of the moon rise when I was all set up waiting for the sun to set here in Lanark, Ontario. Not sure if the quality is okay for viewing. I've switched from Photoshop to Affinity Photo for processing, wondering if anybody else is trying to get away from subscriptions as well. Yeah, that's the worst thing about online subscription now. Dave says he's in the North Frontenac Amateur Astronomy Club.
Yes, sir. Nice shot.
Yeah, nice shot. That's a tough one, but you got it. Good stuff.
Another one of those ones where you didn't see it, and then all of a sudden, pop! There it was.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Yeah, nicely done. Thanks, Dave. Okay, I'm going to go to Jennifer DLG's pictures here. She said, I managed to catch a couple of aurora shots on May the 28th. And have a look. Dude, nice shot there.
Yes, sir.
And this one, another nice capture.
Oh, look at that.
Well done.
Yeah. She also says the crescent moon was setting as a boat slowly cruised down the river, showing up as a blurred lights in the photo with the moon. Cool shot. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Boating season.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice earthshine.
Beautiful.
Well done, Jennifer. Thank you for those. Okay, I'm going to go from there to Dan. Dan Garrett's got a few captures here for me. So he said, I had an opportunity to visit the historical Lick Observatory last night. Summertime public viewing. Now, Lick Observatory is an astronomical observatory owned and operated by the University of California. It is on the summit of Mount Hamilton in the Diablo Range, just east of San Jose, California. So there, now that's one view of it here, and he's got a view.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's the refractor inside.
Whoa.
Look at that.
He said an impressive 36-inch refractor. At the turn of the century, that was one of the largest of its kind. Look at that now.
Wow. Can you imagine?
Crazy.
You got the eyepiece of that guy. Yeah.
What if they use 2-inch? That's something.
It's beautiful. And he said, hang on now. He says, got a chance to view M5. Definitely the largest refractor I've looked through. The view
Yes,
is,
sir.
there you go.
A manual focuser. That is awesome.
It does look like a 2-inch eyepiece.
Yeah, and like I said, a manual Crawford focuser.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing. Nice stuff. He says, James Lick is still there. Unfortunately, he passed away before he ever had a chance to look through his own scope.
Oh, no.
Sad, eh? Yeah. Well, that is, but great images. Thanks for those.
Yes, sir.
May as well set up my Sea Star S50, he said, outside the dome. This is a view of M13 straight from the Sea Star, no processing. So not bad.
Wow. Not bad at all.
Right off the nicely done. Thanks, Dan. All right, I'm going to move from there to here's a Brad Perry shot. He said, here are a few photo submissions from this week. He said, the first is of the moon on Monday night, only 22 hours after the moon turned new, taken at Fredericton. So there we go.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Brad, as always.
Yes, sir.
The second photo is of the Milky Way, and it was captured later that same night over Grand Lake. Yes, sir.
Nice guys.
Beautiful skies, yeah.
Beautiful.
Some awesome
Yeah.
pictures.
He's got some nice places up there, Dick.
Sure does.
Yeah.
And his third photo is of some aurora that was seen on Wednesday night, taken close to home in Durham Bridge. So there you go.
Sure.
So there has been aurora pretty well all week, I guess.
A little bit.
Dan says, yes, it was a 2-inch eyepiece. There. Thanks, Dan.
Right on.
It looks like our CME has arrived early. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what tonight brings for sure. Yeah. Thanks for those, Brad.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm going to move now to Francois Theriault. I think I get them a little bit. Here's Francois Theriault's shots. So he says, here are some of the images I processed this week. Some of them I have not posted yet. Planning on posting them tomorrow to Facebook, he says. You'll see that I have two versions of the M106 image. One is annotated to show the small galaxies included in the capture. So look at that, eh?
Yeah.
That's a
Lots
easy
of-
part of the sky.
Yeah. Awesome job. Thanks, Francois. And here's some more captures of his. Here's his Dumbbell Nebula.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm going to move to his Pinwheel Galaxy, Ursa Major.
Very nice.
Yes, indeed. Look at the little galaxies there right below that bright star.
Here, yeah.
Yeah. It's a reflection nebula too.
Here's this Crescent Nebula in Cygnus.
You know something? That's a great job on that.
Get
That's
ready.
hard to do because to get that oxygen, that blue stuff that's all around the outside of that and intertwined throughout, that's hard to get. So obviously he put some time into that one.
They should call it the brain matter galaxy.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people call it.
Looks like a brain, yeah.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Very nice.
Right, so for those, yeah, and here's a nice little thin capture of the 0.3% waxing crescent. Robert Cadet captured there on Monday as well, I guess. So
Yeah.
There you go.
it's
Very
nice.
nice.
Robert. If you have any photos, you can send them in to astronomybythebay@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to put them up in the next broadcast. And I'm just going to end with this little chart here from Lisa's Lookup. Here's her brand new chart for June. Lisa gives me a copy of this every month. I get a chance to share it with all of you. You can see here that the events are listed on the left-hand side, what's coming up as far as events, celestial events. Then she has the date in the center, the peak time of the event, in translated for your time zone, for my time zone, I guess. Seeing tools, naked eye, binoculars, or telescope. So what you need to view that particular event. You can find Lisa at Lisa's Lookup Astronomy and More, and just follow her at Ruby Moonbeams on Instagram, Mastodon, Facebook, Threads, and now on Blue Sky. And that's it for that.
So I will make mention of that little course if you want.
Yes, please.
So the St. John Astronomy Club is putting together just a little introductory to astrophotography, and it's really it's just basic videos, short videos that we're going to do on a few different things. We'll starting with basically, what is astrophotography and what are the things that you can do with just a camera and a telescope, that kind of a thing. And each clip is probably between 15, 17 minutes long, and it covers a fair bit of stuff. It doesn't get too deep, and it's just designed for beginners. So for those who just want to get out there and try their hand at astro, it's something to do. It's going to be on the St. John Astronomy Club's website. So anytime you want to go there, it is on YouTube. I'll just show you a little. I won't show you a live, but I'll just show you basically who's in it. Let me just share my screen for a second. So Noah Jacobs, which is the young fellow that's sitting there, and that's myself, of course, on the other side, and Matt West is the producer of this program. So basically, we just talk about, myself being an experienced astrophotographer, and I'm asking questions of the up and coming astrophotographer, and he's asking me questions. So we got this thing going back and forth from a beginner standpoint as what he's experiencing as he's going up and getting into his astro. And then I can explain a little bit further on things that he's not quite sure about. Which and the whole point behind this is to take somebody at Jacob's level and or Noah's level, sorry, and take them through, at different levels of astro, because that's where everybody starts. Same place where Noah's starting right now. He's very enthusiastic, just loves and eats and breathes this stuff. And so I think a lot of young up-and-coming astro photographers may get some benefit from that. So
Awesome. Great. Yeah, so that's up on the St. John Astronomy Club's YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thanks, Paul. Okay, so that's our program for tonight. First of all, let's take a look back, though, at Noah's predictions right now. Mike, where are we sitting for that, do you know? Maybe I can share that quickly. I can share that. I have for, maybe I'll just no, I can't refresh it. So I'll just show you here what I had. Whether that's updated or not, I think it is. So there's the Aurora oval, and here we are here. So we're fairly close within the oval, I think, right now. Mike, do you have anything else that we could?
They're still showing. Where am I here? Still showing it strong in here. So there's midnight to 9 minus 3 hours. If we go out, you got to remember to subtract 3 hours from these times. But we're still showing between 6, 7, and 8 somewhere tonight later on if the clouds clear. So
yeah, okay.
That gives us hope.
Well, it does give us hope. I mean, eights, nines, you're looking at pretty good sky. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we look for on the apps, we look for a high solar wind. We also look for a good BZ number. But apparently, if the solar wind is high enough, the BZ is not as important as it would be at other times. Right now, I'm going to look at my lower alerts, and I'm seeing the solar wind is showing 800 right now, -1 for BZ. So we're starting to head into the southward part,
Yeah.
and that's what we want. The density is still very low, but the BT is up at 10. So I mean, I might adventure out tonight and take a quick look. I would say that as long as the skies clear up, and I think they're supposed to be partly cloudy around 11 o'clock or so. So might be another hour or so before things are really
So how's it looking outside? I haven't had a chance to peek out.
I haven't had a chance either. I'm kind of on a show here.
Still cloudy here out my window.
Still cloudy your window. Okay. All right. Well, that's our program for the night. We also hope you enjoyed the program tonight. Special thanks, of course, goes out again to Rosanna for another interesting Rosanna's Fun Fact. Thank you, Rosanna. Always great to have you on this program. Special thanks too goes out to all of you who share our program with your family and friends. Remember too, we do love getting your photos, so send them into astronomybythebay@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to put them up in our next broadcast. So till next week, wishing all of you clear skies, especially tonight. Let's hope you get some good luck with the aurora shots. If you do get a capture of the northern lights, send them into our page. We'd love to share them on our program next week. So as I like to say, guys, open your eyes to view the skies and keep your scopes pointed up. Of course. It had to happen. Oh, screen 3. Here we go. Okay, let's share with sound. I think we can say goodnight now.
Night now.
Right now.